term I want to touch on, then I want to kind of go back and I want to dig into some of your history. Okay. Is the term PEO, because we mentioned Tryon a little bit earlier, trying to PEO, having that benefits, background, and even working in financial services, but PEO, people hear this term, a new agent coming into the business, they hear that term. What does PEO mean? What is that?
Well, currently itself, PEO stands for Professional Employer Organization. They are a company or a network, we'll call it a company. They are, picture yourself, let's say 100-person company. You'll get hired. There's going to be an HR person you'll sit with. It could be one, it could be 2, 3 people. They're going to hire, they're going to do the onboarding. They're the ones who, when you fill out the resume, they may interview you. They're going to do your paperwork. Okay, you decide to get employed by them. They decide they're going to hire you. Okay, they're going to set you up with your benefits. Okay, you can enroll right away with your health insurance for your family. Take care of those, the hiring and sometimes the firing. But again, where they're missing is the legal background, the legal knowledge of all the latest compliance laws. Maybe if they're pre-taxing benefits, there's a certain document that you have to annually file. That document has to be precise on some things as far as how many people you have, the date that you're going to allow to do this. Make sure that nobody enrolls in this unless they have 4 special conditions: marriage, divorce, birth, or death. All these little things. But see, Tryon themselves, they are, picture now having an HR. You could be a 3-person group, Rob. Picture yourself now, you have a whole staff, a team that does that for you. While you do what it is that you do. You're a plumber. I just want a plumber. I just want to fix pipes and sinks and install this and that. I don't know nothing about filing my taxes quarterly, doing this and that. Oh, a handbook? What's that? No, you got a team. And like I said, they have a team of 5 attorneys. And I'm talking, we talking seasoned Johnny Cochran level attorneys. We ain't talking about Joe who just got out of, with the plaid tie and this and that, the food stains on his shirt. We ain't talking about what them guys. We talking about the Johnny Cochran type attorneys on staff at full time. So that everything, the document, all this stuff, you have a team of attorneys behind you now. So yes, you may have hired Sue, but they're going to do the background check. Okay, they're going to dig out that, she's got a record for larceny, assault, this and that. Oh, by the way, she done sued 3 to 4 different companies. So what you thought was a great person would be like, sorry, Sue, we can't hire you for whatever reason. Okay, they keep you as best they can compliant with all the laws, the regulations, the regulatory. So they're like a HR. They're being on your staff without being on your payroll.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got a whole team. Right. And some people, just like we've said about disability, a lot of people say, well, I don't know if I can afford that. No, you cannot afford not to. Just like we tell people about disability. Now, disability, and not to get on my soapbox about disability, but again, like we told a bunch of teachers, and this is another thing that dropped in my spirit just a few years ago, in fact, a charter school that Kareem and I take care of, we were speaking to them at their annual meeting, and I said, how many people in this room, this is about 150 staff. I said, how many people in here have a cell phone? Silly question. Of course, everybody raised their hand. I said, how many people have insurance on that phone? Close to half raised their hand. I said, how many of you have your paycheck insured? And everybody looked like, what? Huh? And then I said, disability. Now, about a third, barely. I said, did you know that the very most important insurance, one of the most important insurance you can buy is disability? That because it insures your paycheck, which is the most valuable asset that we all own. The food you eat, the roof over your head, the car you drive, and everything you enjoy in between is a result of that paycheck. You don't believe me? Take that paycheck away and let's see if that ain't a fast way for you to lose weight. Okay, see if you don't get cold when they shut your gas off. Okay, maybe you in Virginia, so maybe you won't get as cold, but trust me.
When Detroit it get cold, all right.
To pay that gas bill in Michigan, you might say throw your nose up at them in June, July, and August, but shoot, December, we know to pay that gas bill. Okay, right. And so. But you take that, and COVID should have taught us a lot. How many people all of a sudden you got sick or hurt, didn't have disability, A lot of people lost homes. We ain't gonna talk about cars repossessed. Shoot, cell phone, you 1 minute late on that bill, they cut you off. They hit the button on you and that phone is dead. Food, I mean, the whole nine. Yeah. And don't have it. It's bad enough for any single person, but don't be a man that's got a wife and children. And if you are married, that.
I know that.
Don't get that look. You're like,
four boys. I know.
Oh, okay. Boy, and they ain't teenagers, are they?
I got one. Well, actually, I got two teenagers because I got one turned 13. I got one who's 20. He's in college.
That's all right. I remember being 13. I'd eat 5 pork chops in the city. My mother, and was this thin, okay?
Snacks is the
gain
word.
a pound. That's all right. You just keep on working, Rod. I ain't got to worry about you quitting nothing.
I'm not retiring no time soon.
No. I know where to find you, okay? So, but hey, like look,
I want to take a minute and just kind of transition because, I mean, look, already, and for those who listen, look, Gerald's a wealth of knowledge, and what I appreciate is not just a wealth of knowledge in one category, but a wealth of knowledge in several areas, a very well-rounded professional and really understands this space and understands how to navigate in it. But you didn't start there. You didn't start where you are right now. I want to go back, but I want to go way back, because when you speak now, you speak with a lot of passion, a lot of intensity as it pertains to how you help people inside of this business. But tell me something. When you were 8, 9 years old, what was 8, 9-year-old Gerald Scruggs dreaming of?
All we wanted to do was play baseball. All we wanted, girls wasn't even nowhere in the picture. In fact, I never forget, there was a family moved next door. They had a cute little girl. She might be a year or two younger than mine. And I remember playing by myself because I had a sister. My sister's like 5 years younger. And I remember not liking her because I wanted a brother. Because all my buddies had brothers. I had a sister. I ain't nobody to play baseball with me, okay? So, and I never forget to say her calling my grandmother, because my grandmother watched us when my parents went to work. Said, "Can your little boy play with my little?" And I heard that, and I took off running. It's like, I ain't gonna play with no girl. So 8, 9 years old, Gerald was baseball. Let's fast forward a little bit to 13 years old. I still kind of got my money. Again, a little different generation. It wasn't this, I don't like to use this term, but fast as it was then, or as assertive as it was there then. And so I still wasn't really thinking about no girl. I just wanted to play baseball. And out the blue, my father came, he said, Jerry, the family calls me Jerry. I said, Jerry, you got a game this Saturday? I said, matter of fact, no, we don't, Dad. He said, good, you come to work with me. Now, granted, there was no prior conversation. It's not like we've been talking about this. It's not like I expressed a desire. I knew my father went to work. And my mother was a registered nurse. My father was a partner in a large service station just outside on the outskirts of downtown Detroit. In fact, one of the largest stations, we had 8 tow trucks. There was like 10 pumps, 4 service bays, 24/7, 365. Yes, I worked on Christmas and Thanksgiving. So like I said, Daddy came up and he said, you going to work with me this Saturday? And I'm kind of perplexed. And I'm like, okay. I didn't put a resistance, but then I'm thinking, man, I want to play with my friends. So I went to work with Daddy. It was adventurous. I learned how to pump gas. I'm running around like a chicken, my head cut off. That's all I know how to do. So that's all I did, while the other guys, they were fixing people's tires, changing the oil, going on towing cars. And I'm like, I'd like to do that, but I was happy just pumping gas. So finally, after 1 week ride, payday, I got a check for $35. Brother, it was like hitting a crack pipe. I was hooked. I was the Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry of my day. 13 years old with $35 in 1968, 69, when gas is like 20 cents a gallon. Bread was a quarter. Shit. I'm like, I go home to my boys, I have my little knot, I went and broke a 10 with 10 singles, so it looked like I had a real roll. Come on, guys, I'm buying popcorn, ice cream for everybody, it's like, but I was hooked then. I started working and but the bigger thing that I did not know it was, I saw my father in a whole different light. Now at home, he's just Daddy. Like they said about Jesus, oh, that's just a carpenter's boy. And I just saw him as Daddy. My father, if you knew him, is a very nice, affable guy, country boy. Daddy, I mean, it was a typical country boy's scenario. He was the second oldest of 9 children. They had in Alabama probably about 85 to 100 acres. And my father, being one of the oldest, had to drop out of school to help the family take care of the land. So I don't think Daddy went past 10th grade. But my father had work ethic like I have never seen to this day in my life. That's where I learned it from. So he took me to work. And the respect my father had from, I'm talking major, because like I said, this is a large service station. People who became prominent judges, politicians, business owners, the head of the UAW, the national president of UAW, knew my father, loved him. I seen him walk up to my father and just give him $50, $100 just for no reason, just because he was standing there. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, it was like he was the godfather. People were just paying homage to him. And I'm like, damn, is this Daddy? He got, and my father, you see, just meek and humble, and had a laugh that was so indistinguishable. Everybody loved it. That's how he got the nickname Buddy, because he was everybody's buddy. Everybody loved him. And I started seeing my father in a different light. So now I'm working again. I'm thinking, okay, and then that's how I bought my first car. Then I got in the groove, and then of course I got 16. I got my license, so I'm gonna shift over. I'm gonna learn how to drive the tow truck. So now, of course, what happened? Paycheck went up. So shoot, I make it through $300-400 a week. Again, Rob, I'm 16. So, brother, it was the equivalent like slinging drugs today. You know.
This is like early 70s at this point, right? It's early 70s. This early 70s at 16.
Yeah, early 70s.
Yeah.
And then I started college, graduate school, 73, went to college. But on summertime, shoot, I was right back. I couldn't wait to get out in April. I went back to working. And then what happened then, now, summer, we get a call, go open up the doors. This prominent doctor. There was an exclusive area in downtown Detroit, tall high-rise condominiums. This doctor had locked the keys out of his car, and he had an emergency call to do surgery. So we got a call, go here. I went, open up the key. So the man, I was trying to be nice, you know, so I can get my usual $1 or $2 tip. The man gave me a $5 tip, and he gave me a joint. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, thank you. So now I got some time. I'm going to cruise downtown by Blue Cross. So I go look at the girls coming out at lunch. You know, let me try this joint out. You know? And then they called me and they said, Gerald, you got a jack on your truck? I said, yeah. Okay, go to 230 East Grand River. We got a flat tire need to be changing. I go and change the guy's flat tire. All this happened the same day. And come to find out the guy he was the owner of a fur company. So I'm trying to be nice, you know, giving him all my yes, sir, this book, speaking all the proper Queen's English. And he said, how would you like to work for me? And I look up at him. I'm changing out and change time. Huh? He said, how would you like to work? He said, I need a driver. And he said, I really like your mannerisms. And the man could have been in the mafia. All right. Sure. You know, I'm like, yeah, I work for you. Didn't know what the man did. You know, I didn't think to ask the 30 questions. And I come back to the station. I said, Daddy, the guy offered me a job. I got a new job starting Monday. He's like, well, how you do that? So then I switched over and I started working for a company. And he paid for my college tuition. I never went back to college to become a lawyer. And he paid for my schooling and ended up sending me to New York. And I began in pattern design, which allowed me, then I later became a man through years training and steadily expanding my knowledge. I became a master furrier. And eventually at the top of my game, I was only the 4th known master furrier, black master furrier in the country. And where I could custom design, take from scratch something you wanted, conceptualize it, put it on paper, transfer it to the pattern, transfer it to real life, make a cloth pattern. And then we transfer that and make it a mink coat, fast coat, raccoon, sable, beaver, coyote, whatever you wanted.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did that for 20 years. And then, unfortunately, ceremoniously, I had got my own business.
I mean, that's a career specialty in and of itself. You know, that's
it was. And I had a it was good.
Artisan,
in touch with a lot of who's who of Detroit.
Yeah.
And we talking getting paid. I'm getting invited to all the major events. And it's like, you know, it was good time. So anyway, then and I left Macy's after I left the wholesale company. I went to start working in Macy's. They recruited me. It's Macy's now, but it used to be Hudson's. Back in the day, it started with J.L. Hudson's downtown. Okay. And so I was working there. They recruited me. And from there, I left and started my own company because a lot of clients, in fact, a Jewish lady who I waited on one day, she didn't like the price that Hudson's gave them. You know, I told her, well, this is going to be $4,000. So she pulled me to the side. She said, well, do you have your own company? I said, well, no, ma'am. I said, I've been thinking about it. She said, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you start your own company? You work on this code for me, and I'll give you $3,000. So as opposed to 4,500 husbands, and that was where and Rod, I've been thinking about it for a year, but that was it. And I started putting in motion, how can I buy a machine? I need to get supplies. I got my connections. I already knew the people in New York to get stuff wholesale. And she was my first client. And from there, that took off. Then unfortunately, unceremoniously, my ex-wife had a boyfriend I didn't know about. And this Negro stole a bunch of my clients' coats. Of course, I got blamed for it because they were in my possession. And I was convicted of a felony of larceny by conversion. Did not do any jail time, but I got 3 years probation. But unfortunately, I had a felony hanging over my head for 28 years, which restricted me in certain circles from getting licenses. I could never open my own company because, you know, in Michigan, you can't have one. And then even several times I tried to get contracted with certain insurance companies, and that came up. Some companies will let me in, some wouldn't. And I can't say, thank God, last June, I got it expunged after 28 years. And when that happened, Rod, I broke down crying like a baby, man. I couldn't.
Look at God.
You don't, my daddy. It wasn't the relief that came back and give me a chill now just thinking about it that day. No longer can I now have to start getting an anxiety attack, which I don't even get anxious. When that question comes, have you been convicted? So, like I said, I love that business, but unfortunately it came to that end. And before that, I was a purchasing. Oh no, then after that, then that came good. Before I got into insurance, I skipped one. I was a purchasing manager in the automotive industry after I left working downtown. After all of that stuff, the felony stuff happened, and that's when I started in the automotive business. And then I worked there for 8 years. Again, a purchasing manager. So, you know, since you're the guy that everybody got to come to, I'm controlling a $50 million budget. You know, my clients giving me sweets tickets to the Pistons game. You know, we ain't eating no hot dogs and hamburger. We eat fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp and lobster, okay? Being served to you, yeah. The hot dogs and the ham, that was the peasants I eat.
Y'all got warm cookies.
You're right, exactly. Bathroom 2 feet away from me. You know? And so unfortunately from there, then I got laid off. When I went to take my daughter moved from Alabama into Auburn, took her, transferred her over. I came back to work on a Friday. Now, why I did that, I don't know. Usually come back on a Monday. And so anyway, when I came back to work, end of the day, I'm going to go wash out my coffee cup, use the bathroom, boom, see y'all, I'm out. Then the HR guy, he said, Gerald, can I see you in the conference room? And I'm like, man, it's 5 to 4. I know you're not holding a manager's meeting on Friday at 5 to 4 because Tuesday's our regular day. It's like, I'm ready to get out of here. And I felt like a scene from The Godfather. I go in here and there's nobody but me and him. I'm like, okay, where are all the other managers at? You know, I'm looking around. Like I said, if it was a Godfather movie, that would have been a hit. They would have took me out, like in Goodfellas. Bam, I've been called. And then he slides his folder across the table to me. And I open it up, says you are being indefinitely laid off. I'm like, what? You can't lay me off, you know? And so that's when I was laid off. And then after about 6 months of that, then that's when I went to a job fair at the Marriott Hotel in Troy and met Kareem's and I both mentor Bill Hill, who started me in the insurance industry. So
wow,
that took me to that road.
Wow.
Here we are. And that's the short version.
Right. Coming from all types of, people, we come from all different types of backgrounds, you know? Right. And where I want to just kind of commend you, just take a minute and commend you is that, you know, even in, you know, the ebbs and flows, you know, of your career path, you know, you didn't let anything obstruct you.
Right.
You know, you continue to move forward, continue to climb, and continue to move that was going to take you towards, you know, your goal, you know, where you wanted to go and do what you want to do for your family.